Welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 11, and here we are back on my base after having an expedition up here to loot some key items out of the Crash Titan, mainly the grow plots. And what actually happened is when I returned to my base, I actually had a base attack. It's my first base attack. It was a troop transport that dropped a number of Xerax, which gave me a little bit of a problem because they actually got very close into my base before I could actually do anything about it. So what I've actually done is I've now put sentry guns on all the faces. They don't look particularly that elegant because they haven't really fitted that well with the main base structure. You can see I've now put sentry guns on each side of the base. I've also put an extra cannon on the roof, so I've now got 3 cannons. And the other thing I've also removed is the steps that are here, and the reason for that is that there's a lot of hostile wildlife around here, although none are showing up just at the moment. And what they seem to like doing is climbing up this staircase. I think that is actually damaged. Yeah, we've got a little bit of damage here as well. And this is the side where the Xerax patrol came in, and I actually did some of the damage because I had to fire at them close into the base. So that is my first base attack. I'm not sure the stats. It says the next one but will be in 2 days time, so it probably means after this part's expedition, when I return, they will be back. You can see I've also put a sentry gun here because this is probably going to be the most likely point where some Xerax are going to try and walk in now that I've taken away that ladder. Now what I want to do in this part is go out and get resources for my capital vessel. And you can see the main one I want is neodymium. Most of the rest are pretty close. What I've actually done is kicked off some production of carbon substrate. I went out and mined a pile of logs, and what I actually did was, in here you can see I've actually made a chainsaw now, so that I can do that. And what I want to do in this part is go over here, and I think, where is it now? Somewhere around here. Yeah, this level 3 spaceport here, because what I want to do is get into this area. We've got a drone factory down there, and we've got an Epsilon defense area. What I want to do is get in here to get at the silicon, the copper, when they're all small deposits. But I think they're also I'm also half tempted to take out this Epsilon defense area here. But I think it's really time to start taking the war to the Xerax. The other reason for that is that, that's the wrong one. This is one, isn't it? Is if you see the Polaris, we're getting pretty close now to becoming friendly. And I think once I get to friendly, what I would like to do is actually start on the Polaris mission. So that's what we want to do in this part. We're just going to get in here. I think I'm good. The creatures are back. Just going to have to jump in and out. What I've found is that this bug seems to always work when you are getting into the ship after turning on the thrusters for the first time. And I do wonder whether it's got anything to do with the fact that the ship doesn't have an RCS in it. Anyway, I'm just setting off in a random direction, and I suppose we better set that for the spaceport. We'll go for the spaceport first. Actually, no, let's go for the Epsilon, I think, because that's closer. We could go loot the Epsilon defense turret and then take all the loot back to the base, and then we go for the spaceport. So we're going to go in here because I have taken down one Epsilon defense turret, but I actually did that off camera, so maybe taking one down here. Now this area here is got some good stuff in it, but it's a little bit of a hot spot at the moment, so I'm leaving that alone. And what I really want is those resources. I think if I take off the tag so you can get a better view, you can see it just there. I'm going to get some height so we can get some trees, but if you come in from one side, okay, it's actually orientated at 90 degrees to us. If you can come in from one side, what you'll find is you only have to engage one of the weapons. And what we're going to do is get in. We're going to swoop in. Hopefully. Oh, he's got... Right, we got one down. He got a couple of hits on us. Oh, I've taken out the radar. Didn't really want to do that. Never mind. Took a little bit more ammunition than I was originally intending. And of course, the first thing we're definitely going to have to do is keep the ship in good repair. Because the last thing I want to do is keep engaging. And so I'm just going to... It's not that badly damaged. I must admit, there's one thing about this game is sometimes the explosions look a lot worse than what they actually are, but then it doesn't pay to be complacent, because if you let that damage accumulate, what will happen is over time you will take some hits and it will add up. I do keep meaning to put some grills on these forward thrusters, but I think these extra bits on this side here actually make a difference. Look at that hardened steel block there took a little bit of damage. Looking good. Oops, then he walked off the top. Now, when I talked about doing this Epsilon defense base in the previous video, someone suggested that an easy way to take this out is to actually fire through the door. So if I actually fly around here, I mean, there's no defenses or weapons as such. There's some arachnids there. That's great. Let's just get rid of that. I don't know why that came out. You can see the door there. What you can do is actually just blast your way through that door, because the core's in the center. Now, that is a good way if you're not too worried about resources and you just want to take the bases down. But I don't want to do that simply because there's always a risk if you blast open the door. On the back wall is a row of generators, and I actually want those generators. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in here, and I don't want to take the risk of actually blowing those generators up. Actually, somebody actually posted a comment recently saying that I'm very risk averse, and in some ways I am, not because I'm frightened of dying, but because one of the things I do is actually risk assessments on IT projects. I've got to assess the risks and trying to minimize them. Right, we're going to go in here and... Haha! One down. Generally, these can be... Yeah, trying to sneak up on me, were you? I don't seem to have a lot of luck with creatures at the moment. And there are two turrets in here as well, so I mean I could take it down with the rifle, but okay, where's the right, gotta go face to face. Right, that's it. Generally, you only get 2 spawn in here. We've got some meds from them. Spawn kit. And of course, one thing I did forget to do is make the cores. Hopefully, I've got the resources to make some cores here. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit embarrassing. No electronics. A little bit of a fail here. Why can't I make silicon? Don't have any silicon with me. Oh, that's annoying. That is super, super annoying. Okay, let's just... One of these things bulletproof? I suppose what I should really do is go back to using the pistol. Ha ha ha, yeah, well. That solved my problem. I knew there was a solution. Let's just get back to here. I think we'll just eat the sandwich. Got some magnesium powder, shotgun, got the ammunition, got anti-parasite pills, yes. And what I should be able to do now is make the bulk constructor. Yeah, just make it. I'm gonna make 2 cores. Once the game let me escape. Okay, we got some more stuff here. Silver shade. Got assault rifle, projectile rifle. One thing I do want to do is literally start doing this Polaris mission. Partly because I'd like to get the epic armor and the epic drill. What more importantly, this should take me to a trading station, which will then allow me to start selling off some stuff. Right? Have you made the core yet? Let's just put this in. Oops. Keep the ammunition out just for the moment. In a controller. Where's the core gone then? Oh. So what we're going to do is just drop that in there. And first things first, we're going to strip out all the power from here. Power is very important. I don't think there's any oxygen in here. First things first is I want to get these container controller ammo, container controller. See, because I've got these 3 large generators, and the first thing I want to do is get these into the factory. So I'm just going to drop those onto there and get here. You'll see that if I do this, what they should do is send up the neodymium. See, you can see, so it's certainly well worth coming here. I mean, it's pushing up the sathium, but the one I'm really after is neodymium, because once I've got the neodymium, I mean, the cobalt's close, silicon's a bit low, but if we can move in and take out the spaceport, we'll get some more stuff from that. Take this out. Just take the cargo boxes out. I think we're just going to salvage that there, and I think that's about most of what's in this base, but we're just going to salvage out the steel plates. Grab that, and I mean, I don't want to take too much of this stuff. Let me see. I mean, losing the radar on the top cost me a few resources, but I'll say once you've got access to these, it doesn't take long to. Oops. And I think that's about everything I want from here. And that's what we will do, is just take the core, get the computers back, and so I can always come back for the rest of this. Let's just have a look at what we've got. I think we'll put that in. I think I'm okay for Sathium. I mean, what's more heavier? I think we'll put. I'm very reluctant to put in the steel at the moment, because I'm very reluctant to put in the iron at the moment, simply because we'll just go way over the top. So we'll just drop that in just there. So we didn't get anything else out from the point of view of neodymium. And of course it's getting a little bit dark. And it's going to get here. can't steer again because I've turned the thrusters off. So I will come back and probably loot out what's left of that eventually. The question is, how much daylight have I got left? I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to my base and unload, and then what we'll do is we'll come back across, because what I will do then is sleep through the night, and we will have a nice day to do a few things. So we're just going to go back to base. You never know, might trigger a base attack. And here we are, and because of all the local wildlife, I've actually started using the landing pad because it's just a bit safer. Just going to come in over the outer wall, and I'm half thinking about putting a fence along here, because I've had a couple of instances where the local wildlife has actually come up over the thing. Right, I'm going to turn off the power thrusters for the moment, and again we're just going to modulate outpost. You see here what I've done is made quite a lot of carbon substrate. The reason for that is I need that for the capital vessel. Sorry, brain faded a little bit there. So put this in here. Computer. Probably going to put in more of that. Actually, let's just put the ammunition down here. I want to keep the logs. If I keep there. Magnesium powder doesn't really do me any good in the SV, simply because I can't make the rockets in the SV constructor anyway. And general supplies. I don't think it's general supplies. I think it's base supplies. Let's put some more in here. Actually, I haven't checked the base supplies. Let me just... Got to remember that my base doesn't use the solar panels, so I need to make sure that stays up higher. And I think what I will do is just go back to there, go to constructor out, and I'm going to put that on there, just do it the quick way. And you can see here I've got I need 1,000, so if I just do this while I'm thinking about it, actually just put the whole lot in. That takes me very close to the total I actually need, and any extras that I get in from looting should fill that gap up. So let me just check the... Yeah. And it looks like I took a little bit of damage on the rear here. You see here I've got a white hardened steel block, because I've noticed that in several attacks I've actually lost that block a couple of times. I've actually lost a block off the top here as well. Let me just fix that, cancel that. Oops, need to do that. Cancel that. Actually, let's just move this to structure in. Might be in the right one. I believe the pentaxid there. Silver shade. I'll just do it the quick way. What I want to do is put this block back. I've lost I mean, it's not much of a block anyway, but I do need to make a texture tool and repair it. Yeah, I must obviously lost that block from the top there. And put that back. Oh, the other thing I haven't done is I can hear you, creature. And of course we don't really need those weapons, so they go in there. What I really want to do is sell off some of this stuff eventually. What I also need is some small optronic bridges so that I can make an improved, how can you say, SV. Right, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to jump in the ship, put the thrusters back on, take off, jump up, in again so I can fly it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go back over towards the spaceport. But I think what we will do is stop off on the island first and get through the night. As far as I know, there's nothing else on this area at all. There's some telepods there. Even though it's showing red, it should still let me camp here. So just get in here. If it doesn't, well, life's going to be a little bit interesting. So we're going to turn the thrusters off to conserve fuel. Tent out. Not going to need to drill in this exercise. So I'm just going to. I'm just going to grab that. Put the tents. Just put that there. Actually, what we could do is just put this away for the moment. Ammunition. Got explosives. We'll put the explosives on there. We're probably going to need them. Okay, let's get into the ship. And I can't. Out, back in again. Right, let's go have a little bit of a fly over the island, see if there's any promethium along the coast while we're actually going there. Now, there's two levels of spaceport. There's the advanced spaceport that's got 4 primary weapons, and this spaceport that has 2 primary weapons. Now, what we need to do is find out where they're mounted on, because if you could attack from the side with the primary weapon, what you can do is avoid being engaged by both of them. And what you need to do is find out where the primary weapons are. And we're still 500 odd. Get rid of that. Can't actually see the primary weapons at the moment. Right, I can just see one there, so the primary weapon is on this side. You can see it just below there. It's going to drop down a little bit so that the main building will obscure it, and what we're going to do is kind of try and get in really quick. Oh, come on. Oh, we got a couple of hits on us. Right, pull away. We should be okay. We're not close to the thing there. Again, I'm just going to do a little bit of TLC on the ship. Because we did take a little bit of a whack on the front. Yeah, that one took some damage. We didn't take anything on that side, so we just took a little bit of a whack on this side here. Okay, we're okay. Sometimes the explosions look a lot worse than what they actually are. Now, strictly speaking, I don't really need to take down the other turret. So what we can do is get in really close on this side, although we're going to have to keep an eye out for patrols. So in some ways I wouldn't mind being able to get into the base without actually engaging that other turret. So if we can get in, say about here, and drop down. So I'm a little bit worried about patrols. There's the entrance there. So I'm just going to thrusters off. And if we stay close in, oh, go away. Here's the entrance. So if we stay, hello boys. Oh come on, why won't that open? That should open. Okay. Okay, we're inside. I'm just going to do a quick reload. Okay, now if I remember correctly, the core is down this side, so we're going to have to blast our way in. I never had to blast, don't ever recall having to blast my way in here. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, bye. Ah. I think I opened the wrong one there. Okay. Sniper rifle. And let's get that. Now, there is a way you can go around the back here to get this core, but I don't think it's actually gonna. I think there's some of these guys still wandering around. I think we're just gonna take the core down this way. Okay, we've got. Whoops, don't want that. Take that. And just salvage that out. Got up here. Vertical transparent. Okay, I've got some. Take that. And take that to know so that we know what we've done it. This is the shutter that lets you into the back of the. What I'm going to do is take these hardened steel plates, not hardened steel plates, these optical ones, simply because, well, we can eat that. They will, you can see they actually give me glass plates, and what I'll be able to do is just drop those into the, what we call it, the factory, sorry. Oh, okay, there's one up there. And just gonna take that. We've got some more. And take that. Got a little bit more magnesium powder. Take that. Take that. Take that. And just take out these first. That wasn't sporting. Haha, gotcha. Didn't actually see what we got from that one. Ammunition. Some more. I mean, these are. It's quite a good place to loot, actually. I mean, we're probably going to run out of space. So I think what I'm going to need to do, one, I actually need some, a little bit on the health. Whoops. I'm not sure. That takes me up to the top. I'm not going to go up there just yet. I'm just going to grab that. Sounds like they've got people up top as well. Okay, shotgun, go away. And I think we're just going to come here. Put that. We'll put the force shields into the factory. And where is all that? Hardens. Okay, well, actually, what have I got all that lot in here? Put that in. Oops, no, that can go in the fridge. In the fridge, that's medication. Heavy weapons upgrade kit. That could be. So we'll just put that in the container controller. What I want to do is put all these glass plates. So we go to the factory. Drop that in. That should give us some more neodymium. More importantly, let's just drop that in. This is what I'm after, is that silicon. And it just means I can avoid actually having to mine the stuff. And I think this is game just going to salvage this off the outside. Some more. Oops. Actually, let's core the place so that I can actually get some better resources. Did I have another core? I'm sure I made 2 cores. Yes, I did. And we'll just put the core. That can go in there for the moment. So we can look around and see what we've got. Let's group it all up. And of course, what we should be able to do is get some loop the power out. Okay, we've got that. Okay. Hey, you firing at me? Oh, because I'm a bit close to that. Okay, we're going to have to be a little bit careful. We're going to, because he's obviously decided that. We'll get to you, don't worry, guys. I think we can, if I come through, take these out. And actually, let's deal with the guys on the upper story first. Let's just have a quick look and see who's up there. Okay. Go for a reload. Nope. Okay. I'll just hide behind here. There's obviously somebody still in here, but took those windows out. Actually, let's see if we can. I really want that projectile turret. Oops! No! 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 I thought I was using the drone. I certainly don't want to expose myself to that Epsilon defense tower. Certainly, I think we'll salvage these for the electronics. And we'll take those out. And this. We've got here, got some tier 2 fuel tanks. That's going to be very useful. And we just get to the container controller. Where's the turret gone? Ah, there it is. Pick up these and the windows. I'm just going to drop that into. Oops. Game's just going to. That should. It's just iron. The neodymium is going to be the problem, but we're going to take out the Right, let's just get. Well, we'll take that. Retrieve the small generators. And the fuel tank. Where are you? Deconstruct the flares. And I don't think any of these are okay. Fuel tank tier 2, that can go in the factory, that can go in the factory. We got some more plates. I don't want to put the sathium in there for the moment. Got quite a lot of ammunition. Some more of these in. And just gonna definitely put those in. Actually, one thing I thought I picked up the generator. Yeah, take the generator. That can go in as well. So we've got nearly all the cobalt. We've got nearly all the silicon. So it's the neodymium that's going to be the problem. But I've got neodymium ingots. Where are you? I don't really want to leave you hanging around, so we'll just strip out this base and see what we can find. See if there's anything up here. I could take off the roof, but yeah. Not worried about you. I suppose it's just residual. Oh look, I found a turret. A secret turret. Take the sentry gun. Probably do with that on my base. Okay. Well, I don't know where the guy making the noise is, but I don't really care. And so what we're going to do is another little bit of a session. We'll put the hardened steel blocks in. Put the switches in. I mean, I've got 70 neodymium here, which I've picked up, so I suppose we could put that into the, just to keep the ball rolling. So just, I wonder if it's a patrol outside that we got. Okay. Get back to. I'll make sure I go out the right side, that I don't walk straight into that. Okay. Got those. Just salvage those. Take those as well. Just go out the. Make our own door. There's the silver shade. Well, I'm quite happy with that. What I've got to do now is see if the silver shade will actually take off. Which it probably won't. Right, let's see what we've got. Yeah, it's probably all these hardened steel plates that are the problem. So I drop those in. And yeah, we've got 900 odd ordinary plates as well. It's just more steel plates here. We can shove them in the factory so that we get rid of them. I mean, we've got loads of copper. I'd rather keep the copper ingots if possible. I mean, okay. Yeah, so silicon. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a lift off now. be able to fly this thing. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fly back to the modular outpost just to see if we can trigger a base attack. So I'll see you once I actually get back. If nothing happens, then I'll just do an outro for the video. So see you in a minute. So here we are back to the base. I'm just going to drop down on the pad, but I'm not going to switch the thrusters off immediately we arrive. So we're just going to come down. Wow, okay. You can see how overloaded the ship is. I'm just going to drop down here. Yeah, I'm just going to slide in here. Drop out. Nope, no base attack. Oh, it says less than 1 day, so I'm okay at the moment. This is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.